Steinman. Thank you for joining me this evening. We're going to be doing a gentle evening flow. We're going to do some movements to get us synced up with our breath, and then get a nice stretch in to help us wind down with our day. You won't need any props. If you have blocks or a blanket, it may be helpful, something to prop your hips on. We're going to start in a kneeling position. We will be here for a while, so this may be one of those good moments where it's nice to sit up on something. I'm going to do so. And if not, just sit in a position that works for you. This can be cross-legged, in a chair. Just find somewhere where you can settle in. You can raise your crown of your head to the ceiling, straighten out your spine. Roll your shoulders up, down, and back behind you. Take a deep breath in. Fill the belly, the ribs, and the chest up with air. And then exhale out, empty out completely, bringing the belly button to the spine. Repeat this a few times. Notice how you're feeling. And just start to settle into the body. The hands can sit in the lap, face up or face down, whichever is comfortable to you. And then as we continue to breathe in this way, begin to close your eyes down. Check in. Let's exhale completely, and then we're going to inhale for 2, 3, 4, pause for 2, 3, 4, exhale for 2, 3, 4, hold for 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, pausing, holding at the top. Exhaling for 2, 3, 4, and then holding at the bottom for 2, 3, 4. Inhale to 4. Repeat this pattern, holding in between each inhale and exhale. Follow your own breath. We'll be here for a few rounds. I'll leave you to try on your own. Let's go 4 more rounds. Last round. Release the breathing pattern and continue to breathe normally with the eyes shut down. Notice any sensations in the body. Do you feel any tension? Can you soften? Can you let go of something? Is there something you don't need to carry around anymore? And can you leave that behind? What can you make space for? Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth, side out, let something go. Begin to bat the eyelashes open. And we'll begin making some small movements. Let's just roll out through the wrists here. One way and then the other. And then let's bring the palms of the hands together. Press into them. Our elbows are going to come wide. And then let's just turn the tips of our fingers so they're facing down. Still pressing the palms of the hands together. Elbows are going to press wide. Bring the fingertips back up to center. The elbows can come in, and we're just going to tick-tock the hands back and forth. Warming up through the wrists here. And then from here, we're going to take the backs of the hands together. And then again, kind of like we were before, just the opposite. But now we're going to roll our fingers in towards us and around. Just rolling over our wrists here. Pressing the backs of the hands in together. Reversing the circle. You may hear some popping, some cracking, that's normal. And then release, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and then circle them up and down the back. We'll do this a few times. Inhaling, lifting the shoulders up. Exhaling, dropping them down behind. Reversing the direction of the circle. And then let's get into the neck a little bit more. Start to look up towards the sky. Open up through the throat without dropping the back of the head all the way behind. And then as you exhale, bring the chin in towards the chest. Look down, lengthen the back of the neck. Following your breath here, inhale, look up. Exhale, look down once more. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, looking down. As we come to center, let's start to look to the left and then to the right. Inhaling as we come through center. Exhaling, gently stretching through the sides of the neck. And then from here, we're going to bring our head back to center. The fingertips are going to walk out long, and then the opposite ear is going to drop to the shoulder. Feel a nice gentle stretch through the side of the neck. Maybe we lift the hand and press into it, so we're really pressing through the heel of the hand here, and then move it up and down in space. Just notice the sensations that you feel in the arm and the neck. Maybe we start to shift our gaze, so you're looking over, off of the shoulder, down to the mat, or even looking up towards the sky. Practicing self-inquiry here, finding any places of tension, and trying to welcome the breath so we can find ease and release. Let's bring the head back up to center. We're just going to walk the opposite fingertips out. The other ear is going to drop to the shoulder. And then we can stay here, or you can begin to press through the right heel of the hand and start to move the arm, move the neck. Notice how both sides may feel differently here. And then pause wherever it feels good for you. 2 more deep breaths wherever you are. Breathe into the belly. Exhale completely. And then we will release here. I'm just going to turn So you can see me if you're not already towards the back of your mat. Maybe you can also shift as well. We're going to stay on the knees, remove that block or that blanket if you were sitting on something. And then we're going to come to the knees, sitting on the heels here. And then we're just going to start to lean the body back. You may pause here. And you should feel a stretch in the front of the ankle here. That's kind of what we're looking for. This can get really intense, so of course, back off if you feel any pain or any pinching. But if it feels good to you, begin to lift your knees up off the ground. They don't have to come that high as we lean back here. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to drop the knees, and then we're going to bring the forehead to the mat here, child's pose. Empty out all of the air. Hands are stretched out behind you. As you inhale next, you're going to press down through the shins and the tops of the feet. The lower body is going to press the rest of the body up. Arms are going to lift up towards the sky. Your toes are now going to tuck under. And then we're going to open the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together, cactus the arms as we allow the body to glide back down. The bottom sits on the heels. You'll feel a nice stretch here in the bottom of the feet. We're going to continue this flow a few times. So as we fall all the way back down, let's come back to the knees. We're going to lift the knees as we stretch through the tops of the feet here. Again, you don't have to be up or with your knees up that high. And then as you exhale, come forward, child's pose. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead, tuck the toes under. Exhale, cactus the arms, drop back onto your heels and stretch through the feet, releasing the arms, releasing the toes. Inhaling, lifting the knees. Exhaling, child's pose. Inhale, lift the body, tuck the toes. Exhale, fall back down. Let's do this 2 more times. Follow your own breath here. Once more. And then slowly release onto your hands and knees. Meet me in a tabletop position here. Shoulders are stacked above the wrists. Hips are above the knees. We'll take a cat-cow here, dropping the belly on an inhale, opening the chest, looking up. As we exhale, pull the belly button into the spine. Chin comes to the chest, cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Press the ground away from you. Exhale, arch the back. And release. Find a neutral spine here. And we're going to lift the left arm up towards the sky, just opening up before we needle it or thread the needle underneath the right hand. And bring the left ear to the mat. You can press into the mat with this right hand, or you can bring the right hand out in front of you. Pressing the back of the left hand into the ground. Making sure hips are square so they're not dumping too far over. And then breathe. One more deep breath. Release. Walk that right hand back in. Press into the ground. Unravel. Lift the left arm up towards the sky just for a second. And then plant it right down underneath the shoulder. We're going to repeat on the other side by lifting the right arm up towards the sky. As we exhale, it's going to cross underneath the left arm, and the right ear and shoulder come to the ground as we press the left hand into the ground, pressing the mat away from us, or we walk the left hand out in front of us and press into it long. Hips are square. Deep breaths here. One more breath. Exhale, completely walk that left hand back, press it into the ground to lift the body up. Right hand comes up towards the sky, and then we're going to plant it back down on the ground. We're going to tuck our toes under, maybe the hands walk forward about an inch, and then we're just going to hover our knees above, an inch above the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. All hands and feet press into the ground. We straighten the legs as the hips raise up towards the sky. Come to meet in a downward facing dog. Knees can be bent here, but try to encourage the heels toward the ground and the legs to straighten. Gaze is behind you, between the knees, the thighs, or towards the belly button. Press into the hands and feet evenly. 2 more breaths. On an inhale, we're going to lift the right heel up towards the sky. We're going to bend that right knee, open up through the hip here. Pressing into both hands evenly still. And then slowly start to release the body. Replace that foot back down. The left foot is going to lift up towards the sky. Bend at the knee. Open up through the hip. Left knee pointing towards the ceiling here. And then release the body. On an inhale, look up in between the hands, come to the tippy toes, and then make your way up into a forward fold. Feet can be hip distance apart. Maybe we clasp the arms overhead as we hinge from the hips and allow our spine to release. Let the neck be heavy. Maybe you nod yes or no. Release the hands here. Press down through the feet, all through 10 toes. And then slowly unravel the body, 1 vertebrae at a time. Coming up to stand, shoulders and neck come up last. Palms shine forward. Close down the eyes here, Tadasana or mountain pose. Notice how you feel. Start to bat the eyelashes open again on an inhale. And we'll begin to move a little bit more. Inhaling, lifting the arms up towards the sky. Gaze goes up. As you exhale, lead with the chest, hinge from the hips, dive forward and fold. As you inhale, slide the hands up the shin or the thighs, come to a halfway lift, flat back position. And as you exhale, fold once more, plant the hands beside the feet. You're going to step the right foot back, step the left foot back, lift the hips up, meet in downward facing dog. Take 1 breath here. Exhale completely. As you inhale, lift the right knee into the chest. And as you exhale, step the right foot up in between the hands. Then you're going to step the left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press down to ground up and stand. Lift the arms above head, and then bring the hands to heart center on an exhale. Once more, we're going to lift the arms up overhead. As we exhale, dive forward, fold. Inhale, flat back position. Exhale, plant the hands. This time, step the left foot back, followed by the right. Lift the hips up into downward facing dog. One breath. Exhale. Inhale, left knee to chest. Step that foot up, and then we're going to rock the other foot up to meet the other. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, ground down through the feet, press through the legs, and then unravel the spine. Lift the arms up overhead, look up. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. From here, the feet can be together or hip distance apart. As we inhale, hips are going to drop back over the heels. We're going to bend through the knees, lift the hands up towards the sky, chair pose. Make sure the tailbone is tucked under. We can see our toes, if not adjust. Knees tracking with the second toe. One more breath. Sink a little bit deeper. And then release, straighten the legs, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, plant the hands. We're going to step back into downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, come forward into plank. Feel free to plant the knees here. Take knees, chest, chin, or lower the body all the way down to the belly. As we inhale, shoulders and elbows squeeze together. As we lift the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, come down. We're going to tuck the toes under, lift up through plank, and lift the hips into downward facing dog. Take one breath here. Next, as we inhale, we're going to step that right knee into the chest. It's going to plant between the hands. The back foot is going to pivot at a 45-degree angle. We're going to ground down through the big toe mound in the right foot. Hips are facing forward, and we're going to lift the hands up towards the sky, warrior one. Really pressing down through that back foot there. Take one breath, and then lower the upper body. We're going to step back and vinyasa. Feel free to meet us in downward facing dog. Our lower knees, chest, chin, take baby cobra. Our lower through chaturanga and take upward facing dog with the thighs lifted off the mat here. Breathe. As you inhale now, you're going to lift the left knee into the chest. Step up in between the hands. We're going to pivot on the back foot here. Ground down through the lower body. Hips are facing forward. And we're going to lift the hands up into warrior one here. Relax the shoulders so they're not creeping up by the ears. And then slowly lower the body down. Step back. Meet in downward dog, or lower through chaturanga, or take baby cobra. Meeting in a downward facing dog. From here, we're still breathing. Inhale, look up in between the hands. As you exhale, make your way up to a forward fold here. And then as we inhale, we're going to drop the hips, bend through the legs, lift the hands up towards the sky, chair pose. Inhale, and as you exhale, sink a little bit deeper. And then slowly release, come to stand, Tadasana. From here, we're just going to get to downward dog. So we're going to inhale, look up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward, flat, and then on an inhale, flat back position. Exhale, we're going to step the body back into downward facing dog. Again, feel free to bend the knees here. And with every exhale, the heels come down a little bit closer to the mat. Hands and feet are hip distance apart. From here, we're going to step the left foot up in between the hands. We're going to pivot on that back foot. This time we're going to open up into warrior two. So arms are going to cartwheel open here. Arms are pulling apart. Front heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. The feet are trying to pull the yoga mat in two different directions. We sink down through the lower body, shoulders are relaxed. Inhale, we're gonna lean forward. As we exhale, lower body stays as it is, but the left hand is gonna sweep up and behind. Right hand comes to the back of the right thigh or even behind the back as we still press down through that front leg. From here, the left elbow is going to come to the left knee. And then this right arm is going to stick straight up in the sky, gazes up, or bring it up overhead in front of you, side angle pose. Still pressing down through warrior two legs. Body is a straight line here. Reaching up and out of that right pinky. And then gaze up towards your fingers. One more breath. And then begin to bring the right hand behind, left arm cartwheels, left leg straightens, reverse triangle. And then start to cartwheel the arms down, pivot the back foot, meet in a downward facing dog or vinyasa here. We have options, take knees, chest, chin, chaturanga, cobra to upward facing dog. Elbows squeeze together, belly button squeezes the spine. So we lift our hips up and come to meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the right knee into chest. We're going to step the hand in between, or the foot in between the hands. Rotate on the back foot. We're going to cartwheel the arms open, warrior two on the other side. Really pressing down in that lower body. Pressing that knee out so it's not caving in here. And the gaze is over your front middle finger. We're not leaning too far forward or behind. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, keep the right knee bent as we reach behind us, or the hand can come around the back. Look up, chest is open. And then we bring the right elbow to the right knee. Left arm shoots straight up towards the sky. Or it's going to come up overhead, pointing forward. Gaze is towards the fingers here. Really bend down through that bent leg. Pressing down through the knife edge of the left foot for support. One more breath. And then you're going to straighten through that front leg. Left hand's going to come behind. Right arm's going to come up. Reverse triangle. Breathing here. And then pivot on the back foot. Cartwheel the arms down. Take your vinyasa or skip it and meet us in downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth, side out. And then we're just going to jump the knees forward. So bringing them into the chest so the feet can cross. And then we're just going to come down to our bottoms. Legs are going to come out long in front of us. Maybe move the fleshy part of the buttocks away. And then we're going to flex the feet towards the space, elongate through the spine, crown of the head reaches up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Feel free to bend through the knees here. And as we exhale, lead with the chest dive forward, bring the chin to the shins, reach past the feet to grab the hands, or we can grab the feet themselves, the ankles. Trying to keep a flat back here as we fold forward. A few more breaths here. Notice how you're feeling. Notice any thoughts that have come up. On every inhale, lengthening out of the spine. And on every exhale, folding the tiniest bit deeper, if that feels good to you. From here, we're going to come up. The inside of the right foot is going to come to the inside of the left thigh. The right knee is going to fall away from the body, and we're just going to repeat that fold in this position. Again, reaching around the foot or grabbing the foot, the ankle, whatever feels good to you. We just want to avoid using our arms to pull our body forward to force ourselves into this pose. We want to just think of lengthening the body as we expand with our inhales, and then exhaling and allowing gravity to naturally release us into what this posture may look like for you. One more breath. And then we're going to walk the upper body back up. From here, we're going to maybe shift our knees so our hips are a tiny bit more open, not as closed. That right foot's still going to be in. Flex the left toes towards our face. The left knee is facing up towards the ceiling. We can keep our hand to our left shin to the mat. Maybe the elbow comes down. This is another good place for a block here because you can rest your arm wherever you are. And then you're just going to reach your right arm up overhead. Chest is open, shoulders are stacked. And then we're just going to reach up and out of that right arm to open up through the side of the right rib cage. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. Let's go 2 more breaths. And as we release, this right hand is going to sweep behind us. Press down through all 10 fingers. We're going to start to lift the hips up as we come onto the right shin, and the bottom of the left foot is going to meet the mat. We can pause here, pressing our hips forward and reaching the arm up overhead, kind of a side plank variation. Or this left hand can come up and over the head, and we can lean back in space, opening up through the chest, baby wild thing, as we continue to drive our hips up and forward. One more breath. And then slowly with control, release back down. We're just going to turn back towards the front of our mat and then repeat on the other side. So the right foot is going to come out long. Foot is flexed towards the face here. The sole of the left foot is to the inside of the right thigh. And we're going to lift our arms up on an inhale, and on an exhale with a flat back, we're going to hinge from the hips and fold forward, grabbing for the ankle or the shin or even the foot. grabbing in front of the foot if that is possible. And if you have a lot of space and you want a little bit more, you can put a block in the front or a book or just a large object and use that to kind of intensify the stretch. I'm not going to go that deep. Again, trying to bring the chin towards the shin and eventually the forehead to the knee. You can be up here as well, so we have options. One more breath, wherever you are. And then slowly start to come up. I'm just going to shift so my back's not to you, but that right leg's going to stay out long. The left knee is going to open up a little bit more through the hips. Feel free to grab that block again or simply just reach out and grab the foot or bring the forearm of the right arm down to the mat. And then we're just going to lift that left arm up overhead as we reach up and out, opening through the left side body. Shoulders are stacked here. Breathe. Gaze is up. And then as you exhale, left arm is going to swing back behind us. Hips are going to drive forward. We're coming onto that left shin and the bottom of the right foot. Come to side plank variation, or the hand is going to reach up overhead and then swing back behind us, opening through the chest. Really press those hips forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then release the body down. We're simply going to bring the soles of the feet together here, Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose. And we're going to grab the ankles or the toes, lift up out of the spine. Knees are heavy and driving down towards the ground. Feel free to move the feet further away from the body if you need a little bit more space. As we inhale, lengthen out through the pelvis, and then as you exhale, fold forward over the legs towards the feet. The knees may not be close to the ground, but the action is pulling them down as if something was weighing down on them. One more breath. Start to press the upper body back up. And then just use the hands to close the legs together. Maybe start to knock them side to side here. Allow the buttocks to slide down the mat. And then we're going to come on to our backs now. The left leg is going to come out long. And then the right knee is going to come into the chest here. Maybe rock it side to side, roll out through the ankle, breathe. Half wind relieving pose. The right arm is going to come out long. We're going to inhale, bring that knee into the chest once more. And as you exhale, shoulders are both going to be heavy on the ground, and the right knee is going to cross over the body towards the left side of the mat. As we breathe deeply into the navel, releasing the spine, massaging the internal organs. Maybe you can gaze out towards the right fingers, or looking up is completely fine. And then on your next inhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine. The knee comes back into the chest and untwist. The knees are just going to switch. So the right leg is going to come out long. The left leg is going to come in towards the body. Either move that knee side to side or just find stillness here. As you inhale, pull that left knee a little bit closer. As you exhale, left arm comes out long like a T. Left knee falls over to the right side of the mat. Left shoulder is heavy. Maybe we gaze over towards our left hand. Slowing down our practice, slowing down our breath. Slowly start to unravel. Maybe bring the knees into the chest, the feet into the hands. Find happy baby here. Kicking the heels up towards the sky. And then slowly releasing body. So the legs come out long, arms come out wide, take up space here. Begin to deepen the breath. Close the eyes down. Soften through the fingers and the toes. Let the limbs become heavy and sink into the mat. Soften through the belly. Allow your hips to anchor you down into this rested state. Relax the shoulders. See where you can soften. Relax through the throat. Relax the tongue inside of the mouth, the jaw. Feel the eyes become heavy. So you shift your focus to the space between your eyebrows and soften the skin of the forehead. Find stillness here. Find rest. And allow your body to process the movement that we just went through during this practice. Allow the energy to settle. And just be. I'm going to leave us here for a few moments in silence and stillness. If you should become distracted or your mind should wander, simply return to the breath. Let the thoughts pass without judgment. And just be. For a few minutes on your own, keep breathing. last 10 breaths here. Start to deepen your breath and bring your awareness back into your physical body here. Keeping the eyes shut down, notice what you can hear. Notice anything you can smell. Notice how the air feels on your skin, your clothes feel on your body, and how your tongue tastes on the inside of your mouth. Notice any space you've created. Notice any sensations that you feel. And notice any tension that has left your body. Start to make small movements with the fingers and the toes, maybe stretching out through the limbs. Bringing the knees into the chest and then turning onto the right side to find yourself in a fetal position. Eyes still closed down. Allow yourself one last moment to rest before we move off of our mats and into the rest of our nights. Start to press the ground away from you, lifting the body into a comfortable seated position. Eyes still closed. We find our shoulders over our hips, our hands to our knees, the crown of our head reaching up towards the sky. Palms can be face up or down, whatever feels right for you. I offer you some gratitude for practicing with me tonight. I hope you found some release of some sort during this class, some space, some peace. Let's lift our hands up above our head on an inhale, taking the biggest breath we've taken in all day. Bringing our hands to heart center on the exhale, dropping the chin to the fingertips, and I'll leave you with this sentiment. Be gentle with yourself because you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me tonight. I hope you have a good evening. I will see you on Saturday if you're in Vegas at Old Spanish Trail Park, 1 p.m. And if not, I will be streaming again next Wednesday. So thank you. Good night.